Welcome to tutorial number 6. To be quite honest with you guys, I never thought I'd make it past the first one. I was scared as hell. As usual, I've been listening to some good music, some heavy hitters from a couple of rappers I like. Raekwon Chef, Joey Badass, new school, old school. It doesn't matter to me, man. Rap music is my drug. Anyway, we'll forget that for now and head into what made me produce this tutorial in the first place. I am working the portfolio PHP page. I created it a while ago and has the header and footer CSS. So it looks a lot like the home page. However, there are provisions here, our portfolio and some info and hotspots. Yeah, you'll get used to it as we move on. I could make this. I think I'm gonna make this available for download. So in the description page, you can check this out. So let me preview this in the browser for you. Here it is. It's what it looks like in the browser. Looks sleek, I hope. This is the website. This is dummy website, Batman dummy website I'm using to teach you a couple of things, and also with these titles, these HTML titles, ahref tags that are bound here. I'll teach you how to create those. I think with time. You may not understand some of the things I am saying right now, but I will demystify as we keep going on with these tutorials. I've made these bolder, these menu items bolder, and I think in one of the subsequent tutorials I will show you how to create span windows. It's purely CSS and HTML. I hope you've been reading or watching something else, whatever. I just hope you've been looking for more info. Web development is supposed to be entertaining, and this is a field where you could probably show a lot of people that trust me, the web is supposed to be your oyster, your little oyster. So enough of the page. The last tutorial, let's go back into Dreamweaver, hit split view. In the last tutorial I showed you a thing or two about working in MySQL databases, and in this one I will be populating the database with some records that I kept in my sticky notes, and I'll be teaching how to display those records with PHP coding, PHP server-side coding on this page. Hence the space. You can see the space right below the text that precedes our portfolio and text that precedes hotspots. Yeah, you can edit this when you get the time. Okay, so I have my PHP-MyAdmin open. Remember, it's simple. Keep Apache-MySQL running and hit the admin on MySQL. And then you open this window, which is customizable, by the way, with the interface options. I don't really want to exercise those because I'm more interested in appearance. Well, not too much. I mean, as far as my development status quo is concerned, appearance of the programming interface doesn't matter to me. Even though my compiler was grayed out, I wouldn't care. Well, anyway, to portfolio, which is where our table is located. Yeah, portfolio. It has no records whatsoever, and I just wanted to show you some simple SQL. Probably test the fields, because I think I noticed I made a mistake from the last tutorial. One of the fields I created. So all of this is in. So remember, I made a mistake. So the buttons delete from our table, which is portfolio. There's some basic SQL. Yeah, so that means the field does exist, and MySQL has returned an empty result. 0 rows. Rows in databases are the records you populate the database with. the columns count as the fields in that table. So yeah, you should know this by now. I think you should. I hope you should. Now I changed this to Gotham's Elite lowercase with the S underscore and elite, because when you're running search queries, MySQL doesn't recognize characters such as spaces and quotations. So I think it's best you run something simple like this. You feed in something simple like this. You describe your field as something simple like this. I'm sorry I made that mistake. If you don't know how to change fields in MySQL, you just hit the change icon represented by a pencil, and yeah, you edit the field. You can edit all the associate associate properties, but I'm not going to do that now. I'm not going to do that now, seeing as to I've already edited it. I could also edit it using SQL, but I won't code that much in this episode. Besides, there's a whole PHP feature waiting. Now, we open up my sticky notes and see what to populate it with. Yeah, I think I'll go with these values. So to insert records, we're going to insert. ID is auto-generated. Make sure you do not fill in. You don't fill your information in this defined set of fields. Please don't do that because it's a dummy. It's just showing you the schema. It's really repetitive. I wouldn't know why PHP-MyAdmin has that feature, but I don't know. So Gotham's Elite, I think we're gonna add names to this. They're not necessarily Gotham's Elite, but people who make sense. So I tag them as persons of interest in this. So we've got Selena Kyle, who is Catwoman's alias. We've got Commissioner Loeb, who in the game Batman Arkham Origins gets killed in a gas chamber by Sionis. Sionis is Black Mask. Commissioner Gordon, who you all know and have seen in Gotham TV show, if you like it, is Barbara Gordon, who is Oracle, the hacker, and then there's Tatsuya Mashiro, who is Katana, yeah, another one of Batman's allies. So I guess we'll fill them out one by one. So, well, Selena Kyle, location, yeah, her apartment, I think her apartment is, I think I'll just tag it as Diamond District. Recruits Catwoman because she has an alias, so I'll go. Yeah, so we've created one record and it's been inserted here. I think I'll do a few for time. So I'll just go back into insert and insert another record. Tatsuya Mashiro, Mashiro. Yeah, and where did he find her? I think Burnley, maybe. Burnley's a whack team in English Premier League. Recruits, yeah, she's Katana. Yeah, she has this thing going with the League of Assassins, and so we'll insert just one more record. I think we'll go with Commissioner. Sorry, Gordon. I think we got them the Wonder Tower, maybe. Wonder Tower, and I think his recruit name will be. I'll just call him Cool Gordon right now, but he sucks. Trust me, he sucks. Gotham makes him look good, but you should see him in the games. He sucks. Okay, so these are our fields rundown of the data we've entered into MySQL database: ID, Gotham's Elite, locations, and recruits. Now I think it's now time to enter this information in the PHP page, because it is a PHP page, so you just can't leave it redundant. Let's hit PHP. So we're gonna code it up here. Now remember, when you're coding in PHP, this is a slight introduction. You may not understand this now because I'll try and break it down in a later video. But just like with HTML tags, this markup has two delimiters: less than, greater than sign, and also question marks that precede those delimiters. Then the PHP, and it's normally tagged in red for most text editors. If you're using Notepad++, oh, that's amazing, you just stick to Notepad++, but it's the standard almost everywhere, at least for the editors I have seen. So I'll code this out right now. A variable, I'll start with the host. Now, about privileges in PHP-MyAdmin. About privileges, you could associate more well-defined user privileges for PHP-MyAdmin to enforce some security as far as your web page content is concerned, because databases normally the root user, the default user, which is actually root user spelled out as root, has no passwords, has no password enabled to it. So you could create another user and probably access your databases, query your databases using that user information. So username and then password, link, then database. Yep. So we are going to define all of these. So the host is localhost. Our username, I'll decide on that, and then our database is portfolio. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna check the privileges, to check the users that have access to this database. The database, mind you, is portfolio, that is tagged in the blue. These are tables within the database. Don't get me wrong. These are tables within the database. Subsequent icons and text with links that are colored out in purple are tables, and this is the database. The portfolio tagged in blue. Blue colored text is the database. So you can check the privileges and see which users have access to the database for tests and also for running on a real FTP server. So you can see I have three users rather. Two, well, if you consider the fact that root is the default, is set by default. So it's Bruno and then there's Chemem. I'm not going to use any one of those because I use those for my other projects. So I guess we're going to have to create one. So we're going to hit privileges, and we can add a new user. Okay, we can add a new user. Call this Batman. We can leave it as any host. It simplifies your work as a web administrator, as a web manager, because you will be able to work with the database on any platform, be it a local host or a real-time FTP host or cloud host, it doesn't matter. So the password will have to be Batman. I've typed it out correctly. Batman. These dots give me creeps. So we're gonna check all privileges. In that you can see data you can select, you can insert, you can update, delete, and manipulate files. These are all related to queries within MySQL, and the structure, create, alter, index, drop, still related to MySQL because there's certain queries that are started with such syntax.